I slipped and hit my head on the mirror. The glass broke when my head struck it. It struck me as funny, Harry. Do you understand me? It struck me as funny.
You're going right back to bed.
But I haven't brushed my teeth yet.
All right, people, do apologize. We had a little Mad Max issue there, but it's back up and running. So you can, dive in and listen to the travesty as Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome and what a piece of crap that was. But it's back up, and we do apologize for the delay. And this one, we're throwing this one in at you, actually, because we got a real busy month coming up, and that's obviously Halloween month. And it's going to be so jumbled. We got the titles picked. And so it's a lot of us. I'm going to a horror con in Manchester. I think you're doing something as well.
I've stuff to do over October as well. So yeah, it's sort of, we're going to get them recorded and ready before then for October. And there might be no spoilers, but we might have a very special guest. That's all I'm saying.
Well, there is a spoiler because I'm about to say.
All right, there you
go. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we always watch these movies, and whether we like them or not, we always have a good fun, and we rip on them, but we could love the film.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to horror films. One of my particular horror films is a movie called Wishmaster. It's a guilty pleasure, I guess you could call it. And it came out produced by Wes Craven. This was when Wes Craven at the time was just producing a lot of horror stuff because he was making a resurgence and Scream, and rightfully so. He's earned that. And so Wishmaster, I just happened to mention to Trevor that I'm a big Wishmaster fan. We're going to do Make Your Wish. Yep. It's so good. And it's got great horror cameos, good practicals, some CGI that works and doesn't work, but it's still fun. Yeah, so I mentioned that I want to do Wishmaster. It's one of my guilty pleasures of the mid-90s there. And so Trevor goes, well, I know him. I know the guy who wrote that. His name is Pete Atkins. And he's also famous. He wrote Hellraiser 2, Hellbound, Hellraiser 3, and Hellraiser 4. And he did Wishmaster. So, and he's romantic. He's got a great sense of humor. And he likes listening to us and, wants to have good fun. And so I decided, why not review Wishmaster like we do all of our other films, but have the writer on board. And we all have a good laugh. And because he has a great sense of humor.
He does indeed.
And just learn about the artistic process of from paper to screen. And so I think that'd be really fun. So guys, look out for that. That's coming out. We'll probably have it up and running at the end of October as our special.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pete Atkins, screenwriter, horror screenwriter, and he'll be on board for the Wishmaster podcast.
Yep. And all around great guy. He is, yeah. He'd be perfect for this podcast because, like ourselves, he just says it as it is. And it's a good laugh.
That's right.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Exactly.
We do apologize for this one as well. This has got a little delayed here. You know what really sucks about watching David Lynch work?
What?
I'll tell you what, when you watch it fresh off your mind, right? And you're ready to record it for the podcast and they got all these notes. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yes.
I won't get lost because fucking Rain Man of David Lynch is talking to me, right? And so, but all of a sudden I'm moving, right? And things fell out of place where I had to go wait for furniture to be moved and this to be moved. And I was knackered and I said, I can't do the podcast tonight because in all fairness, we don't want to do a podcast if we're fucking tired as hell.
Yeah.
It just won't be fun. And we have to be fun and in the mood, especially if you're talking David Lynch.
Indeed.
Now, the only downside of this is that I haven't seen the film in about 5 days. So I've got the notes. I'm pretty sure all the fucking nut job shit that's in that in the film I remember, but just bear with me, guys, as I try to get this straight.
Because let's face it, it's not exactly a linear film,
We're just talking Wishmaster.
We will be. We will be.
Classic. All right. Let's start off. Let's just talk Twin Peaks here. Now, in the late 80s, massive marketing campaign around the Twin Peaks. And it was from 88 to 89. It was two seasons. Now it got canceled primarily because I think people are a little misled with the Twin
There
Peaks.
was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Basically, Lynch didn't like being restrained by basically television, which completely shows in Fire Walk with Me. But so he sort of lost interest. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's more to it. Okay? Lynch is wrong in a lot of his ideas. I know go Lynch, I love you, but you gotta kind of grow up. Lynch needs to grow up a bit and take accountability. You have this series where you're promising us a murder mystery, and the first season was quite well received, a little quirky, a little nuts, and the second season tanked, and they got canceled because people were sick of what he was throwing in there. And a little too artsy-fartsy crap.
Well,
and,
to be honest...
Please don't interrupt.
You
interrupted the first time. Don't interrupt.
Go ahead.
I swear to God.
What?
I'm going to beat you with this mic.
Threats? Violence and everything?
Yeah.
What?
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And I just sent you a sweet TechNet mouse for a gift.
Well, thank you.
You can sit there and slam this fucking thing on the thing to get it fucking moving again. If anybody doesn't listen to our previous podcast, they're not going to understand that at all. No, and so it got canceled, and he went on to do other stuff. That's no big deal. But he wanted to finish it. And so obviously, and the fans who did appreciate what he was trying to do, the batshit crazy crap, and I like that. I do respect him on that. I do respect the fact that he went back, he didn't sell out, he actually went back to the original material, and he gave people kind of what they wanted to see, the fans at least. It's a fan service movie, all right? You get that a lot, actually. You get that with Marvel, you get that with Star Wars, you get that with a lot of stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually kind of respect it, and David Lynch did do that with Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Now, is it any good? Here's the problem. Again, with Lynch, if you don't watch him regularly, I think you kind of get lost in the shuffle. And I'm a little lucky, I guess. No, I don't want to say lucky, but Trevor has coerced me to do David Lynch films on the podcast with threats and stuff. So I did Blue Velvet and I did Mulholland Drive, and so I'm kind of.
You're a Lynch fan.
Kind of. No, I'm not. No, I never saw.
You like them.
I like Mulholland Drive. That one, I actually bought that on 4K.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah. Lynch fan.
Blue Velvet, I don't give a shit if I watch it again or not. But anyways, that was the longest opening ever, but who cares? I'm just rambling. I'm on caffeine, and I just got done fucking cleaning an apartment, and I better get my security deposit back or I'm going to be pissed. Anyways, back to... Maybe I'm more Lynch than it is, because I have a tendency to stay on topic and then I go fucking batshit crazy.
I was just about to say,
topic.
You're actually behaving tonight like a Lynch character. So, good on you. You're keeping within the theme. So, it's good to see, good to hear, Good on you. Good to see you getting really well into it, even more than me. That's those Lynch fans for you.
So my concern was I haven't watched Twin Peaks since the day in 88, 89. That's it. Now was remembering. Now, the one thing I will say, don't know if he literally is the devil, David Lynch, or he's got some curse on people where you watch his films and the movie is actually embedded in your brain and you don't know what's really there, kind of like with Long Legs.
Yep.
And Inspector and FBI Agent Harker, where you don't know something's wrong inside your head, and then when you finally see something of David Lynch, everything comes back. It triggers it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like you're a Lynch. Yeah, he's like hypnotizing.
Yes.
Your hypnosis until he releases his next film, and then poof. Oh, I remember all that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I should edit some of this. This is long.
Oh, it's all right. Go ahead. Because it won't be a long podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into this. And I usually like to tell you about some of the cast. I mean, kudos to the cast. I mean, we know the regular Cheryl Lee, Ray Weiss, Matt Amick, Damien Asbrook, Phoebe Augustine, David Bowie, Eric Dare, Miguel Ferrer, Pamela Gidley, Heather Graham, Chris Isaac, Maura Kelly, Peggy Lipton, James Marshall, Kiefer Sutherland, David Lynch, Jurgen Prochnow, Harry Dean Stanton, and the terrible Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan's not terrible. But anyway.
Terrible. He's terrible. Thank God he's barely in it. There's, boom, +1. Hey, I didn't realize Mark Frost produced this.
No, not this. He produced Twin Peaks, but him and Lynch had a bit of a sort of, they went their separate ways for this.
His
film.
name's on the titles.
Yes.
His name's on the
yes,
titles.
he is sort of connected, but he used to he would have basically co-written Twin Peaks, the series, and the 2017 third season of it. But with this, he did take a step back. He was doing other things. So there was...
That's what I'm saying, X-Files.
No, he wasn't. Who?
Mark Frost.
Mark Frost didn't. That's Mark Snow was a composer. Chris Carter did the X-Files. Chris Carter.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm a massive X-Files fan and Twin Peaks fan. Trust me.
Mark Snow.
Mark Snow, you're getting mixed up with who was the composer.
Snow and Frost.
Yeah, who was the composer of the X-Files theme, Mark Snow. Mark Frost went on to direct his own films and stuff. But then he came back and he did the third season in 2017 with Lynch. But there was a bit of a part of the ways for Fire Walk with Me. So he wasn't as involved as, with the series and stuff as he was with the series. But yes, he does have a heavy connection overall with Twin Peaks and Lynch. Not the X-fucking-Files.
Oh, okay. That's funny. Come on.
Yeah.
People,
yeah, I mean...
Will people mess that up?
I keep you right, as always,
He's written some good stuff. Equalizer, Hill Street Blues, $60 Million Man.
Yeah, he's been the jobbing writer and stuff for the last few decades.
Fair enough. All right, well, gives fuck then.
Yep.
All right, so I remember David Lynch's character. He plays Gordon.
Gordon Cole, yes.
Where he's always yelling because he's got to wear the earpiece.
Yes.
I do see that all started coming back to me pretty quickly. And you make Chris Isaac, and they're there. Well, first, there's a school bus of kids, and there's a hooker.
Yes, who held them ransom.
Oh, is that what they didn't say what that
They've
was?
They've hijacked the bus. No, it's just like a Lynch quirk. And then it's Gordon Cole, then played by Lynch, basically tells them to go to Deer Meadow. But before that, they meet the dancing girl to give them clues because it is a blue case.
You're kind of jumping now ahead because he calls Chris Isaac away from the scene.
Yes.
And that's where the school bus kids and the hook. I thought it was hookers.
I think it is. Hookers, yeah. They've hijacked a bus. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Fucking, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Could I just say as well, but before this, the very first scene, the opening scene, is of the killer killing Teresa Banks. And the very opening scene is important. The very first shot is of the killer smashing up a TV. That's basically Lynch saying, we're not in TV world anymore. This is basically, the gloves are off, And then we'll meet Chet Desmond and Sam Stanley and Gordon Cole.
Yeah, so we meet this dancing girl.
Yes.
It's fucking fuck me. Come on, guys. I mean, you got Kiefer there. God, we love our Kiefer and Chris Isaac. But I guarantee you both of them, like, what the fuck? So we're like, and I'm looking at her and she's wearing red. She looks ill and she looks like she's got some bone disease and then it looks like she's eating a sour ball.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And so he breaks down the
blue rose kiss.
Yeah, he goes. He breaks this to Kiefer. I'm saying their fucking real names. To Kiefer, eyes blinking. It was one hand in the pocket means somebody's hiding something.
Yes.
Walking in place, lots of leg work involved.
Yes.
A tailored dress is code for drugs.
Yeah.
The blinking eye, both blinking eyes means
they're hiding something as well.
They're hiding something. No, that's one hand in the pocket means something.
Yes.
The fist means
they're going to be belligerent.
They're going to be belligerent. They're not going to help you. Mm-hmm. And the blue rose. Well, I can't tell you about that. What the fuck?
No, because the blue rose is important. It's connected to the Black Lodge entities. And there's the Black Lodge and the White Lodge, which are basically Lynch versions of heaven and hell. And in the Black Lodge and the Red Room, which is in the Black Lodge, that's where the likes of Bob and the dancing dwarf, the arm.
Yeah, and that's the
stuff.
That's the date rape scene. Is that the?
No,
we'll get.
That's
to
a nightclub.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it. This movie is pretty gratuitous, and it's sad that actors are treated like this. Now, don't get me wrong. She signed a contract. She consented to do this, And I'm shocked to see Moira Kelly take her clothes off. But it's really sad when you see women being sodomized or whatever in cinema.
They're tough. No, look. I would jump in there. Please let me say something. I would say that yes, they're tough scenes to watch. Yes, there's no denying that. But that is the intention, because this addresses some very. This is not. It's not gratuitous, but I would say it's Lynch.
It's gratuitous.
No, I don't think it is. But
well, that's kind of sad.
Not that it's no. I think it's a case of it's dealing with some very dark. I mean, the darkest of dark. Sort of issues here. And Lynch, it is sort of burning it out there for, because, I mean, it's a tricky one. Do you know what? I think watching certain scenes with Laura Palmer later on, whenever they're nude and stuff, especially in the nightclub scene, as I've got older, I found them tougher to watch. Do you know what I mean? And you sort of, obviously, Cheryl Lee and David Lynch are still on great terms and stuff. Obviously, it was completely consensual and, all that sort of thing. But yes, there are scenes that are a tough watch here. Yeah,
well, we'll get to them as we go. Now, I'm not going to hear and dismantle the film because I know there's a lot of Lynch fans out there. And he does play fan service. This movie is, like I mentioned at the beginning, is it's fan service to the fans of the Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And so I like I said, movie studios are doing it to this day. Alien Romulus, perfect example. Fan service, the greatest hits.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing here. But it's not that. I like the story itself. It's pretty much Leland. It's pretty much the Palmer story, the father and daughter relationship.
Yes.
This is what this is based around. And I think Ray Weiss is an underrated actor. Always thought, even though we all love him from RoboCop, but the guy has got some good street cred.
He's very good here.
And to play this role, very tough.
Yeah.
Very tough role to play. And we'll certainly dive into that. Now, we're here in
Deer Meadow, first of all.
Deer Meadow.
Yes.
And we meet Sheriff Cable. And this is where they were talking about the lady in the dress.
Yes.
Where they're going to be belligerent. They're not going to help you, yada, yada, yada. And I do like when this is the kind of Lynch I like, where it's more grounded, Keystone Coppery.
Yeah, it's like quirky, sort of humory type. Yeah.
Like when you got this smart ass deputy coming in and Chet just breaks his nose.
Yeah.
Get some coffee, and so I do like, that whole introduction to this town where this is where Teresa Banks was killed.
Yes. And Deer Meadow is like the polar opposite to Twin Peaks. I think it's literally on the map, the polar opposite, but it's also where Twin Peaks is quirky and friendly and some fine cherry pie and, coffee and stuff. These are quite nasty. These guys, including their sort of secretary at the station, you know what I mean? They're very awkward, and it's a polar opposite to Twin Peaks, essentially, the town.
So what we do find out, the connection between Teresa Banks. Now, it kind of cuts away with the whole Teresa Banks investigation, because it quickly it leads to 1 year later, it would be the Palmer. But we do find out Teresa Banks does have a relationship with Palmer. That is, which we find out. But also, she was having an affair with her father.
Well, she wasn't having an affair with him. He was paying her. She was a prostitute.
So you don't think he's having an affair with the father because he's paying for it?
Well, I suppose it is.
No, wait a minute. No, let's name one. Hey, let's the audience. So Trevor just said
she was a hooker.
No, if you're married, gentlemen, it's okay. You're not having an affair if you're paying for it.
No, I don't mean it
that's
like
what
that,
you just said.
But she wouldn't have considered him her boyfriend. Let's put it like that. It wasn't like.
But he was having an affair.
Yeah, well, he was paying her. Yes.
Well, there's no. Well, yeah.
As far as his wife's concerned, yes, he's doing the.
What's your definition of an affair?
Yeah, well, I suppose they were having an affair of sorts, but it wasn't like they were like boyfriend girlfriend. He was paying her.
Oh, let's just move on. I know, but yeah, I just don't think it's funny that you.
I'm just saying. It is not the traditional affair, but he was paying her. You know what I mean? No,
okay.
dude. Yeah,
I'm keeping this in. I don't give a fuck.
Keep it
this
in.
is too good.
Keep it in.
This is gold. Good. For any adulterers out there, you give us a lot of likes because Trevor's on your side. Oh, fuck. That was great. Yeah, so he is having the affair with the hooker.
Yes.
And she's good friends with Palmer. They work together.
Yes.
No, she was a waitress.
Yes.
Teresa Banks was a waitress.
No, that was just one of our jobs. But
That was one of her jobs.
Our other job was basically being a hooker along with Laura Palmer.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's where you meet Harry Dean Stanton, he plays Carl. He runs this trailer park.
Yes.
And he's going to show Teresa Banks trailer.
Yes.
And they keep showing a sign. They keep sign that says number 6 on a telephone pole.
Yes. Yes, I'll tell you what that's connected to. It's the electric. There's lots of references to electric. That's how the entities from the Black Lodge travel. They travel through electricity. And that's basically looking at the electric pole. That's why it sort of focuses in on that. Even whenever they're at the diner, Agent Chet Desmond and Sam Stanley, there's the electric's a bit off. Do you notice? And they've got a spark in fixing the electric and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff going on with the electric. That's basically the entities. That's how they travel through electricity, and this is elaborated more on in the 2017 series. But basically, right, I'm going to give you a quick history of where the entities come from. The entities back in the 1940s, and I think what's a desert in America? Anyway, there was nuclear testing going on, and this one particular nuclear test basically caused so much damage in the atmosphere or whatever, it basically opened a door to another dimension, which is how these basically entities came through.
Oh, so it's Buckaroo Banzai. Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's
David Lynch
similar.
stole from Buckaroo Banzai.
Well, you could argue that. I'm sure it's been done way before Buckaroo Banzai, but yes, these entities came through from another dimension. Now, there's good entities like the Giant, but there's also who live in the White Lodge, and then there's the evil entities like Bob, the Chalfonts, the Jumping Man, the Arm, the dancing dwarf guy. They're evil entities, and the evil entities, they meet above a convenience store, which we see David Bowie in, but also they survive on Garmonbozia, which is translated as pain and suffering, which takes the form of creamed corn, which we see them eating. But yes, it becomes, whenever they basically, the pain and suffering of their victims gets turned into creamed corn that they eat in the Red Room in the Black Lodge.
How do you sit there and say, no, let me finish.
Go ahead.
How do you sit there and say, and you literally did it with a straight face.
Oh, I love all this.
They turn their victims into cream corn, and then they eat them in the Red Room.
Yes, yep.
And you didn't chuckle. You just like.
Yep, matter of fact.
You're so passionate about that.
I've been living in this world of Twin Peaks. I'm in Lynch's head since.
Oh my God!
It must be near 30 years.
That explains so much.
Yeah, it must be near 30 years. I think I was still in my teens when I happened by pure chance upon a Channel 4 in the UK late night showing of Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and ever since then I've been smitten. So there you go.
Okay, so well, there we go. They gotta eat cream corn. So Kiefer Sutherland had not much to do. It was more of a cameo.
Yeah.
He chucks off with the body. They have a ring. They found the ring.
Yeah, the cursed ring.
The first ring, which is underneath the missing trailer. Underneath, I think it was a deputy's trailer.
No. The deputy's trailer was there as well. The trailer that Carl, the Harry Dean Stanton character, points out, which Dale Cooper asks him, says it was an old woman and their grandson. That's the Chalfonts, also known as the
and that's the one with
Tremons.
the dancing. He's the dancing fucker.
Yes, the kid. Yes, with the mask.
The jumping fucker.
Yes, but and his grandmother, who he lives with in the trailer park, is the old woman. They're Black Lodge entities.
So what the fuck was with the introduction of fucking Cooper with the camera and he's looking at the camera. He goes back, looks at the camera again, and then we see David Bowie behind him, goes back to the camera. He's still in front of the camera, even though he's not in front of the camera anymore.
Because
what was that album?
Because it's David Bowie's playing the long-lost agent Philip Jeffries, who went missing, and he magically basically reappears for a very brief time. He has been jumping between these different dimensions. So he has, and he even says, I have been to one of their meetings, above the convenience store, and then it sort of flashes back to their meeting where you see the jumping man and stuff, and the wee guys going, this is a formic at table.
Yeah, the cult. That was the cult Jeffries was part of. It looked like a cult.
Well, it wasn't
and
so
you had that
much.
fucking Michael Myers guy, and they had...
It wasn't so much, but then Agent Philip Jeffries does return in the 2017 series. Obviously, Bowie had passed away, so he couldn't play him. So David Lynch turned the character into a giant talking teapot. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, how can you sit there and it's almost like we're talking Alice in Wonderland all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean,
and you're just so passionate about this. How can you sit there and?
It's just so creative.
So David Bowie passed away. God rest his soul.
Yes.
He's passed away. And how do they? Honor his memory by turning into a fucking teapot. Isn't that what fucking Angela Lansbury was in the fucking Beauty and the Beast cartoon?
Yeah, it's actually a giant talking time traveling teapot. So,
my. You know what? You left that part out. That's very significant. Thank you. Now,
well, it actually is. Stuff like this does blow me away. It's just so unique and so creative, and just Lynch is the real deal.
Now, I think if a monkey showed up on the screen,
there is a monkey in
ass. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. If a monkey showed up wiping its ass, licking its feces from its fingers, flicking them at the screen, you would sit there and go, oh my God, I get it. You're a sucker.
I'm not a sucker. I have examined this film.
This is just blatant.
Personally,
this
for
is
years.
just stupidity.
No, it's not stupidity.
Just a fuck.
No. See, as batshit, I'll admit it's batshit crazy, but as batshit as it is, within this universe, it makes sense. Within this universe that Lynch has created, it does make sense. Yes, it's completely off the wall. I mean, Lynch himself has been described as Jimmy Stewart from Mars. It's completely off the wall, and sometimes Lynch does troll the fans and the critics. But see, all the crazy stuff that I'm talking about, within the context of this universe that Lynch has created, it does make sense.
Yeah, so he pretty much ends with the killer's going to strike again.
Yes.
Because they find that little letter underneath the nail.
Yes.
Of Teresa Banks, and this is where it's 1 year later.
And we're in
And then the Twin Peaks theme kicks in. I will say this, it's very iconic. I do like the Twin Peaks theme. Enzo Badalamenti's. Yes. It's very eerie. It's ominous. But it's also soothing.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's very hypnotic, and it's definitely atmospheric. And without his score, this movie would suck. I mean, it's just like if John Williams wasn't around for Raiders or blah blah, it does hold up. And the one saving grace this film would be his score.
Right. Well, I think it's great all around. But yes, I do love the score, especially later on where him and Lynch actually composes a song in the nightclub where Laura Palmer first enters it. It's called "Questions in a World of Blue," performed by Julie Cruz, and it is so melancholic and profound. Because this is the point in her where she realizes she's doomed. She is, she's screwed, and it's just, again, Badalamenti, Cruz and Lynch together, and not just Twin Peaks, but other films, superb.
So we were introduced to Laura. You get this whole teeny bopper scene.
Yes.
Like you see in a slasher series.
Yeah.
You get Bobby, you get James again. We kind of figure you see she's pretty much a daddy's girl, but she fucks, she does cocaine, she smokes. Mm-hmm. She has a diary that we find has been violated, pages torn out, which we'll quickly find out what that's all about.
Yeah.
This stuff I kind of know better because we obviously know the characters from the original series.
Yes.
I actually thought the first part was better. I like those guys. I want to see more Chet and Sam, and those are the guys
I
I
was-
like. When you get back to this world, I've been here, done this.
I was disappointed that in the 2017 series we didn't see Agent Chet Desmond and Sam Stanley again.
I think we can both agree that they were like, thank Christ. Jesus. You want to come back for 10 minutes and try to solve a murder? No, thanks.
Well,
the lady in the red dress, the lady in the red dress is back. No,
yeah,
I'm good.
I don't actually, just going back to that scene, I love the thing that Lynch's Gordon Cole does. He puts the hand in front of his face in this really weird manner. You know?
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Is Harold her shrink?
Yes. No. He's her tutor. But he's also he's doing home tutoring, but he's also become like a sort of proxy sort of shrink to her in the series. So yeah, and so he's also having an affair with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that. Because she kind of tells him she's losing it, yada, 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 and her diary's been violated. He's crying for her because he's obviously in love with her.
Yes.
He's obsessed with her. That's what that is.
Again, it's like Lynch going back to the whole sort of...
She's a horrible character. She's not a very nice person.
No, that's because she's deeply traumatized. She's been raped by her own father, possessed by an evil spirit since she was 12 years old.
Okay, yeah, I don't think the possessing's happening. I think the father's raping.
Yes, no,
I don't care about Bob. Oh, not Bob, whatever the fuck the homeless guy's name is. I don't care. It was the father. I think it's reversed. I think you're supposed... I think they're playing it like, I think... No,
it's been confirmed.
I think it's his personal own demon that the daughter has conjured up as it's not my father doing this to me. This is somebody else. My father wouldn't do this to me. So she created this
it has been confirmed that Bob is a real entity and it is Bob behind it all in the 2017 series. But yes, that is one way of reading it. You know, it could be a metaphor for a way of dealing with this unimaginable trauma, you know. So that is one way of reading it. Although in later series and stuff, and even within this film, it is confirmed that Bob is a real entity. But yes, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to. I don't care with the old woman, the jumping boy. I don't care. Actually, let's skip all that. Let's skip all the bullshit. Hold on, we're almost done here. Then. Let's talk about the real seedy underbelly. We talked about this with Blue Velvet.
Yes, I was just about to mention
and how Lynch treats these women in films.
Oh,
and. A lot of actors didn't want to, you know. I know a lot of actresses want to work with them. I'm not saying Lynch is a bad guy or anything, but I'm sorry. The women in here are treated like it's maybe it's because I'm older now and I'm seeing it now more as an adult.
Yeah,
and it's pretty disturbing shit.
Yes, it is disturbing.
Then you see movies like Mulholland Drive, where it's kind of the opposite. Where, the women are still kind of treated like shit, but they kind of find their, I don't know.
Well, I think what it all boils down to, Lynch grew up in small town America. So with Blue Velvet and this, he does this sort of arc within his stories about small town America, picket fences, everybody's happy and smiley and all that sort of thing. But basically there's a dark underbelly. So yes, it's sort of extreme here, especially in this Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. But it's not restrained. And you know what? You know, I don't know. There's a lot of people, including Cheryl Lee, have said that it was important to show certain things in this because it wouldn't be right for real life victims of these sorts of horrible things.
Yeah, but why do you have to show it?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I am agreeing with it. It is a tough watch. And like you have just said, as I've got older, I've found it more of a tough watch, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas whenever you're young, you don't care and you're just looking to be shocked and stuff like that. But as you sort of mature a bit, you do sort of think, but you know what it is? It's because Lynch is doing so, and Cheryl Lee are doing such an excellent job of making it so realistic. I know there's all the crazy shit going on, but Cheryl Lee's performance here, it's operatic, it's superb. She knocks it out of the park. And apparently, according to what I've read up on it, apparently she gave this role her all. So she did. So she was 150% committed to this. And it shows. And you totally feel for her. So you do. Yes, she's getting up to all sorts of, she's only 17, by the way, the character. Cheryl Lee was probably in her mid-20s. But the character is the homecoming queen. And it goes back to the whole, what we've just discussed about, on the face of things, everything's great and nice, but there's a dark underbelly. And in Twin Peaks, the homecoming queen is a prostitute, a coke-snorting prostitute who is being raped by her own father, possessed by this demonic type entity. It's just dark shit.
All right. Yeah. This ring. Let's get back to the ring.
Yes.
So Teresa Palmer had a ring.
Yes.
Not Teresa Palmer. Teresa Banks.
Sorry, yes. Teresa Banks, yeah.
Yes, Teresa Banks had a ring. And she's found dead. Laura wakes up and she has a ring in her hand.
Yes.
Does that mean she's marked and she's
Yes,
died?
it's basically the cursed ring. Yeah. She was basically set up by the Chalfonts. Whenever they give her the picture, this would look good on your wall. Whenever she's out doing the Meals on Wheels with Shelley, yeah, they're basically, they set her up because they're evil entities as well. I'm part of this cult in the Black Lodge.
Yeah, is that Shelley and Leo? Are those guys who own the Black Lodge?
Who?
Shelley and Leo?
No, the Black Lodge isn't. No, not the physical lodge. The Black Lodge is like another worldly place. But where they go to the actual, that sort of in our world lodge at the end, it's basically, that's like a lodge in our world. But nearby, it's a portal.
No, I want to know what lodge that is.
Yeah, no, that's like a for want of a better phrase, a real world sort of cabin. That's not actually the Black Lodge. The Black Lodge is, there's a portal near there, which we see Leland get into at the very end before he gets into the Red Room, which actually leads to the Black Lodge is hell, basically, in this other dimension. So it is.
All right, so when Donna,
yes,
her best friend and the only probably decent character in the entire film,
yeah,
goes with her to this lodge, it's the way too long. This nightclub with all the red lights beaming down.
It's a relentless scene.
Beautifully shot,
yeah,
and jazzy sequence, but pretty much just watching two girls getting manipulated.
Yeah,
one drugged, one roofied, and the other one just out of her mind because of her, what she's gone through personally.
Yes.
So, and these men are taking advantage of these women.
Yeah, and Jacques Renault, he's in on it. The big heavy guy.
That's what I meant, Jacques. That's not Shelley. That's what I meant. Those
Leo,
guys.
yeah.
Jacques and
Leo is the other guy who goes to the cabin later on with Laura and Ronette Polanski, who also shows up in the nightclub.
And they rape them. That's when they rape them in that scene too.
Well, yeah.
They tie them up and
stuff.
they do. They tie them up and rape them.
But that's
Jesus, dude. You know what I'm getting with this?
I mean, I'm not denying this is heavy.
I know you're not. I understand, but my point is, how does people enjoy this?
It's not.
How do you enjoy?
Is the wrong word.
A 17-year-old being beaten,
and enjoy
that you're multiple times in a film, mostly by her father. How do people watch?
You don't watch the stuff like this to enjoy it per se. You watch it to be blown away by the storytelling. It's powerful. It's a gut punch. So it is. You don't actually sit there and say, "Whoa, this is great." You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Maybe there are sick freaks out there who do. I don't know, probably. But I'm blown away by the storytelling, the power of the drama, not by the nasty shit that's going on. You know what I mean? I'm not like getting off on it. You know what I mean? So it's a case of where it's just a powerful, powerful story, and Lynch does not fucking hold back here.
When Laura and her father are in the same car,
yes,
an old man pulls up and is pretty much yelling.
That's the one on
Laura. I think he's warning. I think he's warning her.
He's a good.
Not him. He's not talking to him. And Leland panics. He wants to get her out of there because he doesn't want her. Yes,
yeah, that's Mike.
Because that's how I know. This is how I know that. It's the father who consciously knows what he's doing to his daughter because he's trying to get out of a set of traffic lights so this man doesn't warn her again.
That man is actually a major character in the series. That's Mike, the one-armed man. And what actually happened to him was one of his arms became possessed by Bob. So he cut the arm off and the arm then became, the little guy, the dancing dwarf guy. That's why... the guy, he turns around and says, Jesus I am the arm. And then in the later in the 2017 series, the arm has morphed into like this wee talking tree thing.
Oh, fuck me. Come on, people.
That's Mike the one-armed man, you know.
I love how you say it with such confidence and such,
I know,
go Mike the one-armed man. You literally just said without breaking a sweat. Come on. That's Mike the one-armed man. Remember, he cut off his arm because it was possessed by Bob, and then the arm became the dwarf, talking backwards dwarf.
Yeah.
You don't know that, Ciaran? Oh my God.
I'm shocked. That was a program, man. You know what I mean? You know?
I just want to watch Star Wars or something. I just give me my big space bear and Harrison Ford.
Yes. What did you think? Just come back a little bit. What did you think of the dinner table scene? That's intense. Where Leland is jumping between being well possessed by Bob and then back to normal Leland, where it was.
That's why I was going to ask you that.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's no one can do tension quite like Lynch.
Grace. Well, I can go through quite a few directors who could do that easily, and quite easily, starting with Hitchcock. But no, let's piggyback on their family dynamic there. The mother, who I do love, I love Grace Zabriskie, and he's drugging her. He's drugging her so she'd fall asleep with the milk or something, and then he goes to rape her. That's what he does. That's his MO, right?
That's certainly what's suggested.
Okay.
Although it's never explicitly
I'm sorry.
seen.
I don't think it's Bob. I do think Lynch writes it in, like you said, in the near future that this is what's happening. But I think right now Bob doesn't.
It's literally shows you whenever his face changes into Bob and back and forward.
I think that's not Bob. I think that's an alter ego. I think that's just the alter ego.
Bob is a real entity. It always has been.
I don't think Bob's a real entity.
He always has been since the original series. But yes, I respect that take on it. That is an interesting take. I'll be completely fair. But in my head, Bob, going by the series overall, Bob is a real entity. You know what I mean? But certainly to watch this film as a standalone, you could take that from it. That it's a metaphor.
Now, when the next rape scene, when they're tied up,
yes,
and they're beating him.
The cabin. Oh, sorry, it's in the tree.
Yeah, it's in Jacques and Leo. There's a little cabin.
Yes,
hunting cabin probably.
Yes,
and Leland's going after him because at this point, this is where I get confused, and you might be right. I think it's more alter ego where he's switching back and forth because you have Leland who's worried as fuck for his daughter because that's what a father would do, and then you've got the sinister fuck of him, which ends up killing her.
Yes,
from the train. Now, and is James another decent character? James and Donna are probably the only two decent characters in this entire show. James, he's one who's accused of killing her in this TV show, right?
No, he is one of the suspects, but there's multiple.
Suspects.
The great thing about the first season, actually, the first season and the first half of the second season were great. Some of the best TV ever that really set the ball rolling for so many series that were to follow. That, like, the X-Files, just one of them, and many others, Northern Exposure and stuff like that. But yes, there were many suspects, and that was one of the great things about the original series. Before the killer was revealed midway through the second season, was that who did it? Like, who killed Laura Palmer? And James was one of the suspects, along with Leland and several others.
Okay, I can't remember if they made an original arrest and then there's others. I know there's multiple suspects, but I wasn't sure. I know James and Bobby were the two go-to.
Yes, they were the main suspects, especially in the first few episodes.
So when he kills her in rage, we find out he's the one who took the pages from the diary, obviously.
Yes.
And I don't think and then we see the famous music kicking in, and he's wrapping her body like we did.
Wrapped in plastic.
I'll say this part's effective, where you see her being wrapped up, or her dead body. You feel very bad for this girl at this point.
She's literally being
It does bring back the images we had, because that was a famous image of her
wrapped in plastic,
body wrapped in the plastic, from the original Twin Peaks. So it's very nostalgic for me to see that, because I do remember that in the eerie music. So it's nice to come full circle to that, and then it's a nice way for people who actually enjoyed this film can go watch Twin Peaks now and kind of get back into the universe and kind of understand what's going on. And then, of course, you ruin everything by seeing a man eating some cream corn, and then we cut to a monkey. Because you got to cut to a monkey at the end of at the end of this. Why wouldn't you? Right?
Well, they have to, because was the whole point. That is, even during the David Bowie scene, the dancing dwarf, he basically says, fell a victim to Bob with this ring ID wed. This is a formica table, green as its colour. And then he basically says that he wants his garmonbozia, which they get at the end through Laura's pain and suffering. Then they eat it as creamed corn.
It's beautiful. So poetic.
Yeah.
Brings a tear to my eye the way you told that. Fuck me. This is okay.
What's your overall thoughts?
No. This is why I don't like the man. There's stuff there. There's elements there. Don't get me wrong. I would never fault any of his actors, because his actors always could bring their A game to him. So he's doing something right. I just think he's batshit crazy. And I do think there's an ugliness to him with his treatment to women. You talk about celebrity fetish. We talk about slasher films getting a bum rap. We made that famous one about Roger Ebert saying Friday the 13th was sadistic to women, blah, blah, blah. But yet they'll call this film art. And I'm like, really? So Friday the 13th is cruel and sadistic to women, but this is art. And I'm like, where do you know what I mean? I don't understand.
I get what
where
you're
people
saying.
draw the line.
I get what you're saying.
And listen, I'm not a prude, guys. If I'm watching Fatal Attraction or Basic Instinct, all right, cool. And maybe I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite because I like those films and the woman's the one who's always exposed, not the man. So I could be a hypocrite myself. But those are films. David Lynch, and you'll bring it up and I'll applaud him for it. There's a realness to his stuff. Despite the fact it's got a lot of fucking quirky, batshit, crazy shit in there, it's done to the point where you kind of can see the small town in USA happening.
It's believable.
It's got a believability to it. So maybe that's why there's a rawness to it, and you kind of have to have it. But it's just not for me. I applaud the score. Angelo Badalamenti will be missed. I never understood why he never did more. He always seems to be like a Lynch guy, and that was it. He might have done more. I didn't really do research on him. I'm sure I've seen his name pop up.
He worked regularly over the years, you know what I mean? But he's more well known for his work with Lynch.
Yeah. This one is a big pass. I'll never, ever, ever, ever view it and watch it again. I have no interest.
Just to sort of jump on what you're saying, my mum's a horror fan. I watched this with my mum one time, and she hated it.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, she hated it. But anyway,
well, at least your mother tried to help you.
So I think this is just powerful drama, and I would say as well, you're talking about people who say that Lynch or whoever, or even Ebert about Friday the 13th treating women badly. We're talking about fictional characters here. Yes, I get the argument. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it is fiction and it is powerful drama. I think this is a fantastic piece of work, a fantastic film. One of the most powerful and hard-hitting, gut-punch things I've ever seen in my life. And all the quirky stuff and all, I love all that anyway. You know, all the the stuff with the other entities and, the Black Lodge and all that just crazy stuff. I love all that. Because I come away from that and I be blown away and thinking, whoa, I want to work it out in my head and stuff. And like The Lighthouse, stuff like that. Just, I love stuff that blows me away. And there's also that powerful drama there as well.
All right, well, teach their own. I'm not going to rip the guy to shreds. I do think there's something there with the treatment of women. However, Mulholland Drive was a pleasant surprise, and Blue Velvet was not as bad as I thought it would be. But what are you going to do? All right, we're going to wrap this one up, and I promise you guys we're going to go back to the Mad Max. So we got to wrap that one up. And from now on, we're going to keep our retrospectives in order. I did have somebody ask me, and someone me and Trevor know, going, why'd you skip on Mad Max Beyond? Oh no, it's coming. We just took a little break from it.
Yeah.
In all fairness, it makes sense. The retrospectives should stay as a clear retrospective.
Yeah.
So we're from now on, not right now because we're still sloppy bastards, and
we'll get there.
We got a lot coming out. So we'll get there. We're not going to do retrospectives now until next year. We are going to do both Beetlejuices because it's only 2 films. So that it's not really a retrospective. But next year we'll be a little more organize when it comes to our retrospectives and get those in order. But anyways, thanks for giving us a shout, and give us a shout if you liked anything we talked about. If you're a Lynch fan, God love you and God help you, I guess I can say. And give us a shout at citizenframe_podcast on Instagram and, of course, Facebook. That's all I have to add. I am worn out, and I think I'm going to have, I have an urge for some cream corn.
I've mine sitting waiting on me. That's what I eat every night.
Yeah.
Kieran's.
That's really sad. That's every night. You're eating somebody's soul.
No, it's their pain and suffering. Get it. Me and my wee pet monkey, we just sit here and slurp our way at it.
I think on that note, we're going to end. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Here.